Welcome, beloveds, back to the Liberation Wisdom Podcast. I'm Kayla Moore, your host, Sacred Feminine Priestess in Training, and Feminine Liberation Coach, here to help us liberate ourselves from the patriarchy and find our way back to a sacred place in ourselves and collectively hold the torch for the tomorrow that we want us all to have in this world. So, welcome back. I took a break. I'm back. I'm glad to be with you all. Today, I'm going to be talking about my 6 top things that I am done with right now. We've been going through a lot of Aries energy. We went through Aries season with the sun in Aries. We have so many orbiting bodies in Aries right now, even though we have entered into the earthy grounding of Taurus. Thankfully, we need some grounding in this time. There's still a lot of fiery energy happening, especially this week. And so these are things that I have really felt like over the past few weeks, I am just done with. I am ready for that fire to burn these things away as much as they can be burned away and to create a path forward for something new to be birthed, for more ease, more flow, more rest. I'm ready for these things to be in the past, to fall away, and to no longer be a barrier for me. Before I get into that, though, I want to share with you about my path forward that I am birthing right now. It has been a dream of mine for a while to open up a sacred temple and have it be a space of community, of vulnerability, of being able to hold each other in these really challenging times, but to also root and ground and find joy and pleasure in being in each other's company and dancing and singing and using that energy to again hold the torch of tomorrow, of the new earth that we are birthing from inside of ourselves. This is something that I'm very passionate about. It stands on 3 pillars of, again, liberating ourselves from the patriarchy, making ourselves aware of how the patriarchy has influenced us and has created a system that does nothing for anyone, that oppresses all, and has created a system where we are now looking at either we go in a totally different direction or we are basically signing the death note to humanity and to our earth. And I don't know about you, but that's not how I want to go down in this fight. I want to come back to our sacred roots and find that different way. And we have ancestry, we have lineage that can bring us back to that. The second pillar is bringing the divine masculine and divine feminine back into the fabric of humanity. Really understanding, again, what these energies are, how they can play a part in all of us. We all have both of them within us, and how healing them and bringing them back to the forefront can really help heal our collective consciousness or bring wholeness to our collective consciousness. And the last one is, again, holding this vision for tomorrow, for this new earth. We are the ones that are creating this. There's no savior that is coming down and saying, now, here you go. Here's a new earth for you to live in. We are birthing it from inside. We are the ones that are creating a different world inside of us by going inside and tending to our emotional state, our internal bodies, and visioning and imagining and creating in our imaginations something new, something that pulls from a lot of the old that we've had that was way before patriarchy even existed, of getting back to the land, of building community, of being next to each other again, honoring each other, honoring the sacredness of all life, all sentient beings. That is sacred. But we're in a new stage of evolution that we've never been in before. We are going to have technology that maybe we had semblances of at one point, but we are in a new era. And so we're going to be bridging that old with the new. And a lot of people have been saying, like, we're birthing something that we don't have a blueprint for yet. We are creating it as we go. I love the saying that we're like flying the plane as we're building it. That's really what's happening right now. And I am really looking for people that want to step in to that space, that want to be around what I say or what I call like-hearted people, like-hearted souls that are willing to be in the mushy gushy space of emotions with each other, to hold each other, to be vulnerable with each other, but also stand in sovereignty and stand in our grounding and our power and say no more to what has been, and really bring forth their ideas and their creativity and their love for the world and for humanity, for all beings, and really work together to hold the vision, to hold the steadiness, to carry the torch and show all other people that it's safe to do so and that you have a space to come home to if you want to join that movement. So I am creating that temple. It is in its very, very infancy stages, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm taking it one step at a time. But that first step is a free Telegram chat that is for anyone and everyone, for all souls that are ready to walk as love. It is called the Walk as Love Temple. And this chat is already set up. It already has a welcome message for you. It already is inviting you to really root into yourself and gives the mission of what we're here to do, and has some guidelines and rules to follow. We always want to make sure that this is a safe and protected and confidential space for everyone to feel welcome and heard and seen, and some invitations and prompts for you to just linger on and reply as you feel comfortable doing so. This is going to be a co ed space. I want to really say something about that for a second. So many of the sacred spaces I have been in so far have been women only, and I love that. And a lot of the offers that I want to share with the world are women only offers, because really that is my experience in life. And that is what I really love to share with the beautiful, amazing, sacred women around me. I do, however, have a very grounded calling towards welcoming men into sacred spaces as well. And I know this is such a vulnerable time for that. There are so many women that are not ready for that and don't want to be anywhere near men right now. And I hear you and I witness you and I completely understand that. There are other offers that I will have that if you do not feel comfortable being in a space with men at this moment, that is totally fine. Honestly, I don't know how many men will find this chat at this point in time, but it is open and welcome to anyone that is willing to step into this sacred space, that is willing to say, I will walk as love, and is willing to hold the container and uphold the values and the ethics that I have put forth for this community. So we are not accepting anyone that is here to create harm and to judge and to, like, actively do harm. That is not this space. But I do think for me, it is important to start bridging this gap between women and men. That is part of bringing the divine feminine and the divine masculine back into harmony with each other. That it is not men versus women. We are humanity. We are one in the same. And yes, that does not erase the harm that is being done and has been done. It does not erase the harm. It does not erase the hurt. It does not erase the sacred rage and the grief that we all have to feel, and that women in particular feel very strongly right now. And for those that are willing to step into a space of being an ally and step into the space of really understanding that this is the time that we need to stand up and say no more and have a voice in this that you can take from this community and back into the communities that you have in your own life. If that is somebody that happens to identify as male, I am okay with that. Or non binary, or whatever identity you have. It's really about the mission and the calling. And if you are willing to step into this free chat space, this is very much like the outer circle of what I hope the temple will be. If you are, wanting to come and join and just kind of feel it out and see, it's free. You can, delete it at any time. And there will be more specific spaces for just women or just men. And I hope to be very soon collaborating with a colleague of mine on some couples experiences that we can do as well. So there's lots to come. This is just the beginning, but I wanted to invite you to this very precious and special womb space that I have created that I hope will grow over time into something beautiful. I hope one day to have an actual dwelling that we can be in. I hope one day I'm going to put it out into the universe. It is a geoship. If you don't know what that is, go Google it. I hope one day to have land where I can call all of my community members onto, and that we will have a beautiful geodesic dome that we get to call our temple home space. So that is the dream. But for now, I invite you to go click the link in the show notes or the description, depending on where you're hearing this, and join the temple. I really invite you to explore and to take your seat in the circle, beloved. All right, let's get into the 6 things that I am done with. Number 1, I am done with healing. I know I mentioned healing earlier, and that's why I tried to change my language. I am done with healing. I am done with feeling like I am not enough until I am fully healed. This one is tricky because there are going to be lots of things that we still want to heal within ourselves, that we still want to understand and hold and move through so that we can do something different, that we don't want to hold on to old wounds or old patterns. And yet, in a lot of the healing spaces that I've been in therapy, in coaching, in manifestation work, there is this sense that if you are not fully healed, then you are being blocked from your truest and highest best, or your soul's path, your soul's calling. And I just don't want to subscribe to that anymore. I personally deal with or experience an autoimmune disorder. Just recently, one of my friends said that it might be good to start distancing myself from it in terms of calling it like my autoimmune disorder and just saying it's something that I'm experiencing. And I do believe that a lot of these just random illnesses that a lot of people have, especially women, are coming from the disease that has been created in the collective as well. That we are holding so much in our bodies and our spirits that we don't even know. And it's creating disease in our bodies. I don't want to feel like that is a barrier to me being able to experience the dream life that I want to have. It's not true to me anymore. Do I still want to work on moving through this and getting to a place where hopefully that's not my experience? Absolutely. but I don't want to see myself as like a sick and broken person because of it, and that I don't get to have the dreams that I want because I'm still dealing with this. I recently also put out some new offers, and it was really scary to do that. It was really scary to like put myself out there in a new way. It was very exciting, and I'm really excited to be on this new trajectory in my business. But it was scary. And I kept having these meta emotions on top of that of feeling like, oh, you can't be scared. You can't have this anxiety, else it's going to block you from accepting the people into your energy field that you want. And I think it was more the anxiety on top of the anxiety more than anything that did just that. The constantly worrying and feeling like, I'm going to block myself, I'm going to block myself, I'm going to block myself, I think did block myself from being able to really just let go and allow people to see me for who I truly am and to see my offers for what they truly were and to be called in based on frequency. And so I'm done. I'm done feeling like I can't be human too, that I can't have anger, I can't have grief. These are all important emotions to move through and to not meet them with judgment, but to meet them with love, to meet them with curiosity, and to meet them with compassion. And just to know that, like, even if we've put scab over scab over scab over the wounds that we have, there's always going to be a time where maybe those wounds come back to the surface. And I truly think that that's okay. That is part of our journey in this life. Being a human is hard. Being a human is hard. And I think part of the work is being able to just meet ourselves with love instead of judgment and shame. So I'm releasing needing to heal and instead embracing being whole and just meeting myself as a human being that is trying to do the best that I can and is learning and growing every day and, is committed to growing in my consciousness and leveling up in my frequency, but knowing that my humanness does not need to be looked at as a barrier to that. And I think the more I heal that, the more my nervous system is going to heal around those things as well and allow for that ascension to happen anyway. Okay. Number two, scarcity. I could do a whole podcast on scarcity, but I will tell you this: abundance is here. And it has taken me so long, I will say, so long to even just be able to like let go a little bit. And really, this comes down to trust. I have a hard time with trust. I have been taught my whole life to do everything, on my own and not ask for help. And I think I'm getting slightly better at asking for help from people, but when it comes to help from the universe and from my collective guides that I can't yet see, it's really hard. And I know there are moments where I can feel that, something is close to me. I'm not somebody that really yet has a like tangible experience to the galactic beings or the spirits at this point in time. Maybe I will have more of those gifts turn on as I go, but I can track in my life how I have been held, and specifically around money lately. Again, like moving into a new iteration of my business, it was really scary to feel like, oh no, like what is going to happen money wise? How is this all going to work out? I feel like I trust more than I ever have, but there was still this feeling of like, but what if I still need to do this? I still need to do that. Like, I need to make it happen. And it wasn't until my husband and I had a conversation with a friend of mine that's helping us with our finances and just budgeting and just day to day, like maintenance of our finances, that I looked over the past 4 months in the year of 2026 and was like, every single month, we have been gifted extra money. We have been helped out in ways that I would have never expected or could have guessed. Things have been hard for a lot of people financially, but I wonder if you look back and think about, just the gifts of money that you've had or people that are willing to help you. Like, I am still here. I am still doing the thing that I love. I am still breathing. I still have a roof over my head. I still have clothes on my body. I still have plenty of food on the table. My husband's car just died literally the day when I said, "Your car could die tomorrow." We've been knowing it was going to die for a while. And it did. It died the next day, which I thought was a little bit funny. I think spirit was playing a little joke on us in that. But I was ready for it, and after I had already understood that, you know what? We have been so held, and my husband had just gotten a raise, and we were planning that money for something else, but it was like, we have the money now to be able to afford a new car, and it's gonna be okay. And even the money that we were gonna earmark for something else, like, it will be okay. We will find the money to do the things that we wanna do. And I think just that shift in my body of instead of being like, "Oh, that wasn't expected or that wasn't planned, and now what are we gonna do?" to we are so held. We have been so guided. We have been taken care of. Like, it's gonna be okay. That is abundance. And trust me, it's not an easy place to get to. I will say scarcity has been one of my deepest, deepest wounds that I've been working on for close to 2 years now. And it's a hard journey to go through. And it's kind of an up and down roller coaster. So please, please, please give yourself all the grace and love. If you are somebody that is struggling with this is also a patriarchal design to keep us in scarcity, to keep us competing with each other so that we don't know that we are actually really, one, all taken care of by spirit, but also we can take care of each other too, that we are powerful in community. And so if you are struggling with this, know that it was by design to struggle with it. All of our ancestors have probably gone through a lot of difficult things that have also created a scarcity mindset within our lineage. And so being so kind to yourself. I do want to say on this too that, of course, there are plenty of people that are very much struggling in this world that are in war and famine and barely making enough money to survive in any way. And if you are in like basic survival mode, of course, you are not going to feel very abundant. And that is okay. I mean, it's not okay that you are there. I never want any human being to ever have to experience what a lot of people are going through at this moment in time. And so it is so important that for those of us that can resource abundance and can hold this frequency of abundance for all, it is so important that we do that because the more of us that are able to hold that frequency and hold that vision, the more we can create that reality in our 3D world. And that's really what this game of the universe looks like is the more we can create it within inside of ourselves, the more we can create it out there. And it's, as within, so without. It's also as without, so within. So we also have to notice when the chaos of the world starts showing up in our own lives and understanding how to, again, meet that with love and compassion. So I'm releasing scarcity in my life and really welcoming in the guidance of abundance of the universe and knowing that everything is going to be okay. Everything is really going to be okay. Okay. Number 3 is tackling the world's problems on my own. There are a few ways that you could view this, but really the way that I am viewing this is I'm done being led to think that I am the one that has to create change through recycling, through finding clothes without plastic, finding food without chemicals, finding water that, is doesn't have chemicals in it either. I am so done with the system creating all of these problems and then putting it on the individual or the consumer to fix in their own life. There are so many products and so many things that are trying to put band-aids on the problems that the billionaires and these big corporations have created because they refuse to care about anything beyond money. And I am done. I am done being sold that I need this water filter. I'm being done being sold that I need to spend hours on the internet scouring to find my 4-year-old organic bedding because I'm afraid of all the crap that is in the bedding that you would get at like Target. I am so done with having to get special water from a health food store because our own tap water is undrinkable. I am so done with knowing that like plastic is killing us, it's killing the earth, it's killing animals, it's killing everything, and yet we're the ones that are supposed to just go to the store and, like, figure out how to buy things that are not in plastic when literally, like, 99% of the things that we buy at the store, even produce, is packaged in plastic. Like, that is not my fault. We could do that differently. We could absolutely do that differently. I'm done being told that all the problems of the world need to be solved individually. Can we each do something to help? Absolutely. But even like recycling is a scam. It's really a scam. And it's like no matter how much we try to clean things up, like every product that is created is created. It's not going anywhere. If we throw it away, it goes into the earth. If we recycle it, there's like 9% chance that it's going to actually be recycled into something else. But a lot of times, again, plastic, I remember a time where I thought, oh, like this thing was created by reused plastic water bottles. I thought that was great. But guess what? Like, you're still reusing plastic, it's still plastic. And we know now that those chemicals are infiltrating us and causing very severe illness. And I'm just done. I'm done. So I'm here to call for us to keep putting pressure on the system changing. That doesn't mean that we can't individually do things to help the earth, to help ourselves as well. I'm going to keep doing all of these things until something changes, but I'm done feeling like it's on me to create a bubble in my life to keep me from all the crap that the system has created. Like, they are the ones that need to be held accountable. They are the ones that we need to take to court and to demand that they can't do this anymore, that we need clean water, we need clean air, we need clean textiles across the board. No matter what type of textile it is, we need healthy, healthy, sustainable, organic textiles for clothing, for bedding, for furniture, for everything. We have to do it differently. We have to do it differently. We need to package our food in a different way. Like, we need to get, I mean, there's so many things. We need to get back to being able to like know where our food comes from and all of that. But even just like stop packaging all of our produce in plastic. There are other ways that we can package them that people have come up with. There are so many brilliant people that are working on new innovations. And I feel like we could have eradicated this so long ago if it wasn't for these companies that keep lobbying for it to be the way that it is. So I'm saying it's your fault, not mine. I will keep doing what I have to for my family until it changes, but I'm pushing back and saying it's not on me anymore. Number 4, playing the victim. This is a big, like, collective consciousness movement that is happening. The stars in the astrology are helping us move through the victim mentality and always feeling like we are a victim. Again, it kind of goes back to the one I just did of like, we're no longer victims of our circumstances. We are sovereign beings. What does sovereignty mean? Sovereignty means we no longer need external validation. We no longer need to follow someone else to understand what we need to do next. We are sovereign because we are divine. We are sovereign in we know that we have connection to the earth. As human beings, we are the most connected to the earth. We come from a womb that is so connected to the earth. It is so connected to her cycles. We come from the essence of what this earth is. And so we are so connected below, but we are also very much connected to the above as well, to the cosmos, to the heavens, whatever terminology you want to use. We are so connected. And we are also connected to each other. We are so connected to all of humanity, to all of plants and animals. We have to remember that we don't need them to tell us what to do anymore. We are sovereign beings inside of ourselves. We get to draw on that power that we have as a human being. And as, many women here are womb owners and creators of life. And if you are not a womb owner, that is okay. You are still very much ruled by the moon and her wisdom and her evolution throughout her 28-day cycle. And so know that you are a sovereign being. We no longer have to play the victim. We no longer are a victim of our circumstance. We get to resource ourselves. We get to root into the earth. We get to beam into the cosmos. We get to have our horizontal connection to all living things on this planet and know that you are you are sovereign. You get to make those choices for yourself. So, letting go of the victim. Number 5 is perfectionism. This one is very hard for me. And I think for a lot of women is very, very hard. So, we don't need to be perfect. Perfectionism is also another tool of the patriarchy. All we have to be is human. All we have to be is human. And again, this comes from, I brought this one in here because for me, it has felt like throughout my spiritual journey, again, with a lot of people talking about how do you raise your consciousness? How do you raise your vibration so that you can be a frequency match to the things that you want in your life? It has felt like I have to be perfect at that I have to be somebody that is constantly vibrating in this like joy and bliss and everything's amazing all the time. Never have a falter in fear or anxiety for me to have the things that I want in my life. And it's just not true. It's just not true. I've watched a couple documentaries lately of like the rise of singers and how they went from, being nobody or really like putting in their hours, doing the small shows and small venues, and then they take off and they still have a lot of stuff that they're working on. Like so many people are able to achieve their dreams, but are still human. They still have doubts. They still are afraid of losing what they were able to create. And sometimes when it happens so fast, it's like, well, I was just like this one microcosm of a circumstance, and I don't know if I can do it again. And of course, it was part of their journey, and that was the timing that it was meant to happen. but they're still human. They still have fear, they still have anxiety, they still have things that they are working on in their life. And it's just not true that we have to be perfect. There's really no such thing as perfect. There is like this perfect rhythm and synchronicity that we see in nature, but nature is also not perfect. Nature is beautiful and wild and unpredictable and magical. She's not perfect. She's never trying to be perfect. She just is. And she goes through her cycles. She knows when to bloom. She knows when to let go. She knows when to come into the dark. And then she knows when to like pop back out again and start the growing process again. She knows those things. And that's the perfect rhythm that we have in this cosmos and in this earth cycle. But she's not perfect. And we don't have to be either. All we have to be is human. And again, meet ourselves with love and compassion. Okay. My final one, my kind of bonus one. This might be a little surprising to you, but my last one that I'm done with is celebrity. And I've heard some people talk about this, and it's a really interesting concept of how we have put so many people that are just people that a lot of people know and are aware of on these pedestals where we feel like they are above everything else, like almost to the point of being gods. And they are just human beings. They are just human beings, just like you and I. And it brought me back to thinking about even the characters, call it that, characters of the Bible, of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and how when we like memorialize someone in a text like that and then create a whole religion around it, again, like these characters are put on a pedestal. And of course, like Jesus was, like the son of God and this person that we revere so much, but he was just as much human as he was divine. Guess who else is just as much human as you are divine? You. Humans are just as much human as we are divine. And in the community of people that I listen to in the social media realm, you know, if you believe in this, great. If you don't, that's okay. But the galactic beings of the universe call humans royalty of the cosmos because we have had to do one of the hardest things that any soul could ever sign up for. And that's coming to earth and having to go through the hardships of what it means to be human, of having to feel all the things and experience what it means to not only love, but to also hurt and to have to contend with the systems of oppression and things that we have built on this planet. We are royalty of the galaxy or of the cosmos. So, what would it mean for you if instead of like worshiping these idols, what if you also worshiped yourself just as much? What if we also worshiped humanity and all living creatures just as much as we worshiped these idols and these beings? I would say celebrity on earth is different. I do think a lot of people also worship human beings too. But as am talking about spirituality, I also wonder, like, what would it look like for us to think of Jesus as a human being? Of course, he was divine. Of course, he was divine. And he was here to bring the message of love and, again, weaving the divine masculine and the divine feminine back into the fabric of humanity again. Again, recall from my last episode, he was living during very similar times to us right now. And he was calling upon the people. He was going and being with the sick, being with the unhoused, being with the ones that were cast out, the whores and the people that were deemed enemies of society. He went to those people and uplifted them and told them that they were just as much divine as he was. And that's what it's all been about. It wasn't that we were supposed to like worship these idols so that they could tell us what to do. It was about helping us understand that we're the whole point. We are the creation, that God or whoever you think of as the creator created us for a reason, that we are the precious creation. We are the thing that was thought about and dreamt about and then brought into form. All of us are that creation. And so we are just as much divine as we are human. And we get to be the ones that lead us into a new earth. So don't ever for a moment think that you are not special, that you are not, I'm going to say it, you are on par with Jesus or maybe even above. Like Jesus and the creator, they did not want us to think that we were just like these lowly little ants that had nothing to do with anything and that had no power whatsoever. I firmly believe that they wanted us to know how special and amazing we are and how in awe of us the entire universe is. So, how would that change your world if that was how you thought about yourself? So, I'm done looking at myself as not being worthy, of not being enough, of not being divine, and worshiping all these other things, all these other beings, or all these other people that are doing it better than me. I'm done. I'm done with that and coming back to myself and saying, you are the creation. You were meant to be here. You chose to be here, and it's time for you to shine. All right, beloveds, thank you so much for continuing to be with me, continuing to support me. Please go down in the show notes and click on the link to the Telegram chat for the Walk is Love Temple if taking your seat in the circle is something that is calling to you. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Take care, all.